Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining, and many thanks to NCCD to give us this opportunity. I say us because I have been collaborating with these artists and some other artists from India for last few years. So I feel like I am part of their community. And I am really excited to bring some of these art form to you through this 5 series workshop that NCCD is sponsoring. So first, Patachitra. What is Patachitra? Patta means cloth, Chitra means painting. So in really ancient ages, can I ask everyone to please mute yourself if you are not speaking? I see some background. I hear some background, sorry. In ancient days, there was no canvas. So these artists and many other artists throughout India, they used cloth for painting, and they could roll up those paintings. Other ancient painting techniques also use palm leaves, which is very famous from Orissa. But for this particular artist clusters, nowadays they use paper and they put some cloth on the back of those papers, so those become very sturdy and durable, and then you can roll them up, because one of the reasons for this Patachitra is that they can travel with these Patachitra from one area to another. They sing songs with some of the stories they paint. So sometimes these Patachitra are 6 or 7 feet long, and you can see some of those hanging where the artists are sitting. Around 18th century, or maybe a little bit before that, some village Patachitra artists, they moved to Calcutta for business purposes during British ruling, and they started setting up small shops near a very famous temple called Kalighat temple, because it's a temple of goddess Kali. So many people from all over West Bengal and India used to come, but more importantly, a lot of British um, people who were employed by East India Company used to come. Their relatives used to come, and they would go to that temple area, and they would buy these paintings as souvenirs. So these artists who originally used to do paintings in a different style, they started adopting a very different style of art, and that is called the Kalighat painting. And the themes also changed, even though they paint religious themes, but they started doing current affairs, political and social satire, because again, because the British were there, they started kind of going into that mode where they were adopting new style, new hairstyle, new outfit, most importantly, closed toe shoes, which was not very popular, in India before that. So today she is going to show us how to, okay, so there are, give me a second, I'm just trying to admit some people who joined now. Um, so Babu is gentleman, and the reason there was a funny kind of connotation behind it. So Babu was the neo-European class of people who were educated, and many of them actually used to work for the East India Company. So they adopted a very different lifestyle, modern lifestyle. So they were seen kind of like, moving away from the tradition, and there are many connotation of their lifestyle in Kalighat painting. Another very important thing I want to point that if you are seeing this painting, you can see that shading, which actually gives it a 3D effect. And these paintings are very different than what these Patua, the artists, used to paint traditionally. So these are much less crowded, more portrait style. That is why these Kalighat paintings were thought, well, like they are seen as the first modern painting of India. They became very popular, and most of the original Kalighat paintings are in different places across the world in museums. And around 19th century, again with the turmoil and the freedom movement, etc., the market was not very good in the Calcutta area, in the Kalighat area. So most of these artists went back to their villages. So Kalighat painting tradition kind of stopped. But very recently, some artists for last 10, 15 years, there is an effort of bringing it back. So they're reviving the techniques, how Kalighat painting used to do. These artist clusters, they still use natural dye. I will go into that a little bit, but here Tagar Chitrakar, she is our main instructor today. But as you can see that they always sit around as a family because they do the art as a family. And the unique part is they don't put their name on this painting. Some started doing it. Tagar Chitrakar, she's a wife, mother, grandmother, daughter-in-law, and she takes care of all those duties every day and still is an award-winning artist. And many like her in that artist cluster are in that category. Women paint more because they're staying home, they have more time to paint, and men go out to do the business side, the networking, selling it. There are some men who are also doing both. Um, but usually a lot of women are very good painters. And our instructor today, she was recognized many times for her art skills. She actually travels very regularly to other states of India to teach, and that's really something incredible. And couple of few things. These are 100% handmade. They make natural dyes using local plant derived material. They don't use any fancy packing material. They use old newspaper, for which we usually recycle here. They use it for packing. They actually use saris to put on the back of this painting, and that's another recycling fact. And then another interesting thing is they use hardened coconut shell as their color bowl. They don't have any fancy palette. So here are some of the images of a coconut shell that they keep using for years. So they go with really whatever is available. So think about how resourceful they are. And very recently, I came to know that the white here can be made from many different local sources, but one of those are the soil that the local crabs dig up from their burrows. And there is that white in that soil. Um, and they use that particular type of soil to make this white paint. They also use, crushed, say, shell rice powder and other ingredients, because as you can imagine, not everything is available all the time. And the paint is usually done on art paper with natural dyes, but for Kalighat painting or even for Midnapur painting, they also do that. They use coffee and tea liquor and dip it in there to make it a vintage color. That is also very, very interesting fact. So here are some of the fruits and flowers that they use. I am going to just, close this so that we can go back to the artist so that they can show you what they actually use in their everyday dye making and painting for us. বৌদি তুমি শুরু করতে পারো, আর উৎপল তুমি একটুখানি ক্যামেরাটা সেট করো যাতে এখন এই জিনিসগুলো আমরা দেখতে পাই। হ্যাঁ, ওকে।
প্রথমে দেখাচ্ছি যে হলুদ রংটা, যেটা কাঁচা হলদি থেকে পাওয়া যায়। আর তার সঙ্গে আরেকটা আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে গাঁদা ফুল। গাঁদা ফুল থেকে একটা হলুদ পাওয়া যায়।
আরেকটুখানি দেখাতে হবে, মানে আরেকটু কাছে নিয়ে, দূরে নিয়ে যাও আরেকটু। So they are showing a turmeric root and marigold flower. Both of these are used to make yellow dyes, and she's just showing us, demonstrating, how it looks when directly they're using it, but they also mix.
এটা হলুদ রং থেকে, কাঁচা হলদি থেকে হলুদ রংটা আসছে। তো আরেকটা আছে, এটা হচ্ছে গাঁদা ফুল। এই গাঁদা ফুল থেকেও এই হলুদ রংটা আসবে। এই গাঁদা হলুদ একটাতেও দেখিয়েছি, এটা হচ্ছে কাঁচা হলদি,
রাইট,
দেখালাম। এটা হচ্ছে গাঁদা ফুল, এই গাঁদা ফুল থেকে হলুদ রংটাও আসছে, এটাও আমি দেখাচ্ছি।
So she is showing us two different sources of the yellow color, but when they make it in a bulk, they make they do the extract and they mix wood apple seed, an adhesive from wood apple seed, to mix with this so that it works as a fixative and the dye don't get oxidized or black throughout the process. And this is another marigold flower, another color for orange.
অরেঞ্জ, এটা হচ্ছে উনুনের আটকুড়া মাটি থেকে, আর হচ্ছে গাঁদা ফুল থেকে। এটা হচ্ছে গাঁদা ফুলের, এটা হচ্ছে অরেঞ্জ কালার।
Okay, she's saying that for orange they use two things. One is this particular color of marigold, but also the burnt soil from their earthen oven. So they still use earthen oven in their household, everyday cooking, and with multiple use, the soil gets burnt. It's like terracotta color. That's what they also use.
আর এটা হচ্ছে অপরিচিতা ফুল, এটা
So
যেটা
this is
নীল
the
কালার
blue.
হয়।
Yeah.
অপরিচিতা ফুল থেকে নীল কালারটা আসছে, ওটা আমি দেখাচ্ছি।
This is the blue color, because of the it's dark over there a little bit, but you can see when she's pressing it on the paper, you can see that the blue color is coming up.
আর একটা আছে যেটা গোলাপি রং হয়, সেটা হচ্ছে পুঁই মিচুরি থেকে। এইটা হচ্ছে পুঁই মিচুরি থেকে এই গোলাপি রংটা পাওয়া যায়। এটা এখান থেকেই আমরা বানাই, যে পুঁই মিচুরি থেকেই গোলাপি রংটা আছে।
So this is another uh, ingredient where she's making the pink dye from it. And to me, it's really, really fascinating because they pretty much use everything around them and use it for their painting.
আর একটা হচ্ছে সবুজ রংটা যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে এই যে সিম পাতা, এই সিম পাতার রস থেকে সবুজ রংটা আসছে।
So now she's showing us the green, which comes from another local plant. We actually get that here. We call it seam. I don't know how it is called. It's kind of a legume, a flat legume, and we can buy it in the Indian market here. And I will send all of you the presentation after this so that you have this information. So everyone just watches it and kind of absorbs the information. But feel free to take notes if you like to.
আর সব কালারের সঙ্গে তেলের আঠা দিতে হয়, না দিলে এই রংটা কিন্তু চলে যাবে। তো সব কালারের সঙ্গে বেলের আঠা দিয়ে, এইটা হচ্ছে তেল।
So this is the wood apple that I was talking about, and this is a commonly found fruit in India. And the seeds, if you crush the seed, it has some adhesive, and also around the seed there are adhesive, very thick adhesive. So they use that. বৌদি পিঙ্কটার জন্য কি ইউজ করলে?
পিঙ্কটা যে পুঁই শাকের বীজ।
Puimetuli. Yes, so someone is asking what she used for the pink. Pink is here, they call it Chinese spinach. Again, I see it in the Indian stores, and it's from the fruits, and you only get that during this time of the year. So the fruits are really small berries, and you press it, and you get this. But you know, if you're interested, you can use something else, what's available here. That's the beauty of this technique.
আর এই যে কালোটা দেখছে, কালোটা হচ্ছে চালকে ভেজে একদম কালো করে নিতে হবে, তারপর শিলনোড়াতে পিষে পাউডার করে নেওয়ার পরে কাপড়েতে ছেঁকে নিতে হবে, তারপর এই নারকেল মালার মধ্যে দিয়ে আর বেলের আঠা দিয়ে ঘুটে রোদ্রের মধ্যে রাখতে হবে।
Okay, so she is showing the black now. They burn rice and then crush it, and then really use a sieve to do the very fine grain from it, and then use that, mix it with the wood apple adhesive to make the black paint. So this is like, you know, most of the colors that they use, and I think now they can show us the actual motif that she's going to show us. ওদের এখন তাহলে একটু আঁকাটা দেখাও।
দেখো
And I'm going to look at the chat and see if there is any other questions.
এখন আমি যেটা আঁকছি ওটা হচ্ছে বাবু। বাবু ছাতা মাথা দিয়ে বাড়ি ফিরছে।
So she is showing us, she already did the pencil sketch just so that she can show us the coloring technique. And the motif which was on the poster that you saw is a Babu, but yes, Michelle, it is typical to be seated on the floor to paint. Yeah, and then see that mat she's sitting on, that is also made by a local uh, sort of some type of grass, and it's handmade. So yes, they really uh, do it in a way that's very humbling. I think she's showing us a slightly different motif today. So here is the Babu, which again I mentioned. Babu is referred to a gentleman who is using some European style for his clothing and not clothing, shoes mainly. But here he has an umbrella that that he is holding. They use pencil. They use pencil for the outline sketch. Yes. বৌদি তুমি একবার একটু এটা উঠিয়ে সোজা করে দেখাবে, যাতে ওরা মানে ছবিটা একটু সোজার থেকে বুঝতে পারে যে কি। একটু দূর থেকে দেখাও। So this is the overall motif that she will show us. A gentleman is holding an umbrella. Again, it's very common in India because the sun is so high and it's so hot that we use umbrella all the time during summer. হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে, এবারে তুমি দেখাও। And she is using yellow. So the drawing is usually made by them. You can, you can use the one which is used for the poster. Is that what you're asking, or? Rika is asking where we can find the drawing. So the drawing. Oh, okay. Well, I can send the one that I shared with Athena for yeah, we can send the the image that I shared with you, Athena, and everyone can use that. বৌদি ছাতার রংটা কি দিয়ে করেছো গো?
এটা হচ্ছে সব রকমের মিক্স করে একটা কালার করা হয়েছে। যেমন যে আতপ চালের যে সাদাটা, ওই সাদা থেকে আর হচ্ছে কালো মিক্সড করে একটা কালার করে।
Okay, so this is kind of a gray color, and she used the white from the rice flour and mixed it with a little bit of black to get this gray color. So that's another thing. They use different colors to mix to get some other non-primary colors. And while she's showing, I want to just mention one more thing, the main difference between Midnapur Patachitra and this Kalighat Patachitra. So Midnapur Patachitra is very, very bright color, and the whole canvas or whole paper, the space you have will be filled with motifs. and the Kalighat is more like one or two subjects in that theme. So you can see why this is, kind of adopted from European portrait style. And another thing is many of these artists who started doing Kalighat painting, they used to be idol maker. So that's why they started using that shading to give a 3D effect of um, 3D effect in the figure, and that is also very different from Midnapur. Our instructor today, Tagar Chitrakar, she does both. I know the ant is actually there, I think because they can smell that there is rice and other things in the in vicinity, so they can smell it. But that's another important thing, because they use the adhesive, etc. That's help with the kind of insect repellent property of this art form. So no, so they are not watercolor or acrylic. They are, I'm just going through the questions. So, Rika, these are the natural dye that they make. And I don't know whether you joined at that time or not. She was showing us some of the ingredients that they use. And you will see it in the presentation I sent. But basically, for white, they use rice powder or a soil that is available in the local crabs barrow, sometimes also crushed shell if that is available. For blue, they use a local flower. For yellow, they use either turmeric root or marigold flower. For orange, they use another marigold flower. For pink, they use Chinese spinach, etc. They use leaves for the green. And to answer Michelle's question, the paper is backed with fabric after the painting is all done. So that's kind of a last step. And they use some kind of adhesive to paste it, and then they keep it in the sun to get it fully dry, and then only they can take it to a fair or somewhere. um, and you can see all steps are done. So Rika, you can use watercolor or water-based acrylic.
দিদি শুরু হচ্ছে না, তার জন্য হাওয়া দিয়ে তাড়াতাড়ি শূন্য করছি।
So she's saying that because the it takes a little while to dry the paint, and you can imagine the humidity is much higher where she is demonstrating it from. So she's just doing like a hand fan to quickly dry it. Thank you, Bodhi.
কি করবো বলো, চুপছে না তো, না আসলে আমি তো সেট দিতে পারছি না।
Yeah, that's another thing. They cannot use the shade until the first coat is dry. That's why she's doing this hand fan, just so that she can show us all the steps. তুমি সাদাটাতে শেড দিতে পারো নাকি?
হ্যাঁ, সাদা তো শেড দিয়ে হবে। এই সাদা এটার মধ্যে শেড হবে, এই জামাটার মধ্যে শেড হবে, আর মুখের মধ্যে শেড হবে, পুরোটাই শেডেরই কাজ হবে।
And I think that ant is actually very interested in art, because it was there when they were doing another workshop for me a few days ago. So he's there. It's his home. By the way, the artists actually had to go, to another place in the neighborhood. I don't know how far that is, but they went there because they had to rent a laptop. Thank you, Athena.
আমি দেখছি চেকটা কেমন হচ্ছে কিনা, কারণ ভিজে আছে তো, তবু একবার চেষ্টা করছি।
Also, I will share a short video where she demonstrated, the other motif which was on the poster, so that you can, look back to the video and use it as a refresher. And I'm hoping all of you will give it a try and complete it. So if you do, please share it with Athena so that she can share with me. I do have a Facebook page which I use to promote, the support for art, and I can post it there. I have an Insta page which is called Artsy Way of Life. My Facebook is also called Artsy Way of Life, so I can post some of the work from you all on that page, if you are okay with it, and if you share it with us. So now she's showing the shade, how she's doing the shade for the eyes. And I usually say this for our attendees, is that when you are painting, you can use a tape to, tape your piece of paper on a board or whatever you choose. Thank you, Athena. Whatever you choose to use as your platform. Um, and also, if any of you are interested in making natural dye, uh, I have um, I have the information for a natural gum that you can use to mix the dye with, just for experimentation. You can try it. Turmeric root is very easily available here, as well. And the Babu is wearing something, it's called dhoti. It's almost like a very long piece of cotton, or sometimes it can be silk. A very long piece of cloth that um, you know it's not difficult to tie, but that used to be our traditional outfit in Calcutta. And the top is called a Punjabi, or now people call it a kurta, and it's all the comfortable clothing, because based on the geographic location, it's we come from a very warm place, right? It's hot, and in the summer it's very hot. In the winter, I don't think we will feel cold, but it can be cold for people living there. But generally, people use comfortable cotton clothing. Yes, Julie, I will tell you the little bit I know about this. And another thing is, there are some documentation, some books, but not a whole lot, right? Because uh, what happened when British came to India and Calcutta was the capital for a while, it became like a trading center. So there are a lot of people coming to Calcutta for business purposes, for travel and whatnot. Some business-minded artists from remote villages, they came to Calcutta and they started setting their shop close to a temple which is called Kalighat Temple. It's a very famous temple of goddess Kali. It's still there. It's a very popular destination for Hindu. But that area was very, very prominent at that time, and people used to go to that temple and then they would go to the stores nearby and they would buy souvenirs. So these artists actually they developed some very different painting technique that compared to what they used to do, and those paintings became Kalighat painting. They focused on one or two characters on as a theme, and it's not busy, it's just having all the focus on that particular theme, and they still use natural ingredients, but they started doing the shade on these figures, and it was very quickly done, almost like if you think about in Disney World or something, the caricatures they are done so quickly. It was a quick painting style compared to all the other very long Patachitra that they do. And the 3D concept came from idol making, because a lot of these artists, they were very proficient in making clay idols. So they were looking for that 3D effect in their painting. So they started adding the shade, and that used to give that that 3D effect. And around 19th century, um, this art started to die down, mainly because there were freedom fighting and all of those. So there were a lot of social and political turmoil. And, in British India, it was probably not a very safe place to work, and also probably there was fear about, how things are going. So business started getting kind of down. So many of these families actually moved back to their villages, and they started going back to what they were doing traditionally, because this particular art form were catering to a certain class of people, some foreigners who came to India for travel or work, but also the neo um, neo-European English educated class of the society. Many of them were middle class, but they worked for the East India Company, so they had like a very lavish lifestyle because they could afford it. And these paintings were kind of targeted to them, um, captured many of their lifestyle, both good and bad. But historically, this actually captured a window of history where the changes were happening. And you probably have heard about Renaissance. So many good things came out at that time. Also, with some became really uh, you know distant from the orthodox tradition, and some aid in the middle. They were promoting women to go to schools and colleges and not being married very early on. So a lot of social things came up. You can see in the blog, I tried to capture some of those from my research from different places, but you can also look up and get to read more. And let me know if you have more question. Yes. So the paintbrush types, that's the type they use. I mean, they buy it these days. Um, but are you asking about the number that they are using? So let me ask. তো বৌদি তুমি একটু এই তুলির নাম্বারটা বলো। I know they use 0, 00, 000. 00. Okay. So now she's using 00. তুমি 000 তে ইউজ করবে না পরে?
এইটা এটা 00 আছে, 000 আছে, তারপর 10 আছে,
Okay. So she's using 0, 00, and 000 depending on what which part of the painting she's working on. So no, they don't construct their paintbrush from local ingredients. So what I have read is they in the Kalighat temple, it could be a little bit gory, so forgive me for that. In the Kalighat area, they used to offer goat to the deity, right? So a lot of times the hairs from the goat hair used to be used for making the paintbrush. I also there was another person who gave us workshop couple of years ago. He uses a particular squirrel hair brush for his painting, but as more animal activism and things like that coming to life, first of all, there is no goat offering happens nowadays in Kalighat. That doesn't mean that they cannot get goat hair from a local shop or something, but I think that's the part they moved to move to commercial. Same with the paper, right? They use commercially made paper these days. So let me ask Michelle. So বৌদি কোয়েশ্চেনটা হচ্ছে শেডিংটা কি একটা মোটা তুলি দিয়ে করে তারপরে সেই সেই তুলিটাই জাস্ট ভিজিয়ে তুমি ভেতরটা করছো শেডিংটা? হ্যাঁ,
আমি এটা 000 এই
একটু পুরোটা দেখা যাচ্ছে না। উৎপল একটুখানি ক্যামেরাটা অ্যাডজাস্ট করবে ভাই? হ্যাঁ।
এটা 0।
ওকে
এটার আউটলাইনটা দিচ্ছি।
ওকে
এইটা হচ্ছে এটা হচ্ছে 8 নম্বর তুলি।
8
এই তুলি থেকে জলটা নিয়ে ঝেড়ে দিয়ে তারপরে সেট টানতে হবে।
ওকে
কলমে কাজ করতে হয় একসাথে।
Okay, so she's using the 000 for the outline. Then she is using the number 8, where she dips it in the color and then puts it in the water and then kind of gets rid of excess water and use that for the shading. আর ওই মোটা ব্রাশটা কি তুমি একটু কালারে ডোবাচ্ছ তো?
না, এটা কালারে ডুবাচ্ছি না, আমি এটা জলের মধ্যে এটার মধ্যে জল আছে, এই জলের মধ্যে ডুবিয়ে কলমটাকে ঝেড়ে তারপরে শেড টান।
তো ওই যে শেডের কালারটা আসছে ওটা কি ওই আউটলাইনটার থেকেই চলে আসছে?
হ্যাঁ, এই আউটলাইন থেকে শেডটা হবে।
So she's saying that in the thicker brush there is no color. She's just dipping it in water and putting that water, but it's the watercolor property, right? So the from the border, whatever is coming through, that's creating the shade. Yeah, that's why, right? Watercolor is incredibly difficult, but also can be fun. Yeah. এখন তো একটু কালার দিলে, রাইট? এটা কি এই জায়গাটা একটু মোটা করে করলে বলে?
এইটা প্রথমে 000 দিয়ে আমি
ওকে,
মানে কালোটা দিয়েছি।
ওকে,
এই মোটা কলমটা মানে 8 নম্বর কলমটা দিয়ে জলটা দিয়ে
ওকে,
টেনে দিচ্ছি।
ওকে।
এই দেখুন এইটা হচ্ছে 000।
Okay,
এইটাকে আউটলাইন দিচ্ছি।
so she is using the 0 for the outline.
এই 8 নম্বর কলম দিয়ে এই শেপটাকে টানছি।
Okay, and then she's just like using that thick one a few times so that there is enough water for the color to spread. So, not directly related to, but there is, I just wanted to share something very interesting I learned, very, very recently. So, see the ant, it's kind of moving around there. Um, in many parts of India, including West Bengal, we use rice flour or ground rice to do decoration on our floor for sometimes every day, sometimes for particular occasion or particular puja or worship. Thank you, Swati. Yes, I will share the video demonstration of the painting which was on the poster and my presentation with Athena, and she can share with all of you. So going back to what I was saying, so there are we do some decoration on the floor, and we used to use rice flour. I have done it when I was I was a child, and it came from the concept of biodiversity, that if you leave it like that, the ants and other small insects, they will have something to eat. So from that concept, that doing that design on the floor came. So that is why I think it's incredibly interesting and important that we remember to use natural ingredients for the sake of everyone around us, not only just human, everyone and everything around us. বৌদি, এই পার্টটা করে একটু চোখটা দেখিয়ে দাও,
হ্যাঁ
কারণ
চোখটা আছে, ঠিক আছে, এটা তো চোখটাই করে দিচ্ছি কারণ
I'm just asking her to show us to do the eyes next, because it's very difficult to finish everything within that time frame, but I at least want her to show the major things, um, major steps, so that we all can follow that. তুমি এটাও কি 000টা ইউজ করছো তো?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
She's using the 000 brush again. And usually, because they use yellow for the skin color, they use the red for shading around the eyes or around the cheeks. So I just wanted to remind everyone to keep an eye on our upcoming seminar series. Athena will post about those, sequentially, but please do sign up. And we have been discussing and planning it ahead of time so that we get good participation and can reach out to uh, many of you. And you can do the same, spread the words to your community, your friends. And all the art forms I try to bring is, it has a social angle. And just from knowing another art form, and this to emphasize the fact that this does not replace if you're already in a drawing class or painting class regularly. I think this only enhances our awareness about another culture and another art form. So help us spread the words. And then there will be an exhibition about this particular art form and the Midnapur Patachitra. Both are done by the same people from Midnapur, where our artist is from. And that will be happening in March in Newton City Hall. So I just wanted to let you know, if you want to. I don't know where they will post it, but I'll definitely post it on my page. And quite a few paintings will be there for throughout the month of March, and again in July in Watertown Public Library. And those are all, free, open to all exhibition. So if you're interested to see, a variety of painting by these artists, please do attend those. বৌদি চোখটা তো হোয়াইটটা ছেড়েই রাখো, রাইট? সাদাটা ওখানে তো আর রং, হ্যাঁ
না, ওটা ছেড়েই রাখা হয়।
তুমি একটু সাদার কাজ দেখাবে
না,
বাবুর পাঞ্জাবি বা কোথাও।
শুকিয়ে যাক, আমি দেখাচ্ছি, কারণ ওটা ভিজে আছে তো।
ওকে।
না শুকনো হলে দিতে পারছি না।
এই জামার হাতায় বা কোথাও একটা কাজ করা। ও ছাতাটায় দেখাও না, ছাতায় দেখাবে।
পাতাটা তো এখনই ভিজে আছে। ঠিক আছে, চলবে, হবে, দেখছি।
I'm asking her if she can show us a little bit of use of the white color, because to me that's really fascinating, because when they add the white, it just enhances the painting with a really decorative way. Yes, I am. Every time I watch her, I'm amazed, because see, she's just doing it on a, like, almost a free floating piece of paper.
দিদি, তাহলে এই সাদা করছি আমি।
She is going to show us a little bit of work with white, just so that we are trying to show everything within the time frame. But I think people are logging off already. I just want to thank everyone for attending and spending your precious time with us on a Saturday morning. And I can tell you this, the artists are always very, very grateful and appreciative of our invitation, so that they can showcase their work. At the end of the day, they want to sell their work, but also they take pride in their work and in their tradition. This particular family, this is the 8th generation that they are painting. The little girl who is there with the mother, she's in 9th grade, but she's already doing incredible painting. And one of her painting is right now showing in Teal Wave Gallery in Watertown. They really liked it, so they're showing it there. And you all can kind of guess the amount of resources and facilities they have. So I find it very, very inspiring when I watch them, doing their work. Yes, she sure does. বৌদি, এই পার্টটা করে একটু তুলে সাদাটা দেখিও, সামনের থেকে কাগজটা দেখিও, হ্যাঁ?
ঠিক আছে, দেখাচ্ছি, এটা করে দেখাচ্ছি।
I know that we're a little bit over time. Again, it's hard to kind of finish everything on time, but do you want to, any of you want to come on camera or ask anything. So you can see the white that she added around the ear. Um, yeah. Okay, so বৌদি একটু সবাই ক্যামেরায় আসতে চাইছে. Okay, you can probably I don't know whether you can unmute yourself. Um, can you unmute yourself or turn on your video from your side if you want to? Rika, I was not sure if you want to. Oh, I think you just agreed with Michelle. Yes, the fish. That's one of their. So okay, let me ask her to show you. বৌদি ওই পেছনে মাছের ওইটা একটু দেখাও. So this is a very interesting story, and this is like এটা কি মাছের বিয়ে?
হ্যাঁ ওটা মাছের বিয়ে।
হ্যাঁ. So they do a separate workshop for this. It's called Wedding of the Fishes. And they sing a song with it. দাদা একটুখানি গাইবে? They sing a song with it. You would not understand the language, but it's like two fishes are getting married, and all other fishes are invited in the party. That's the theme. Dada du line gao. I'm asking him to sing couple of lines from that, just so that you get a feel.
আমি বলবো দিদি
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ করো 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 দাদা দাদা করতে পারো তুমি করতে পারো যে করো করো. So he's the singer of the family, main singer. They all sing, but হ্যাঁ করো দাদা করো.
নমস্তে মাছের বিয়ে বেঙ্গলি সিঙ্গিং আজ দাঁড়িয়া মাছের বিয়ে করাতে চলো গো রঙ্গিলা দাঁড়িয়া মাছের বিয়ে করাতে যাব গো রঙ্গিলা রুই কাতলা মাছ বলছে দেখো রুই কাতলা মাছ বলছে দেখো তোমার বিয়ের ডলি নইয়া যাব গো রঙ্গিলা দাঁড়িয়া মাছের বিয়ে করাতে চলো গো রঙ্গিলা গলদা চিংড়ি বলছে দেখো গলদা চিংড়ি বলছে দেখো তোমার বিয়ের হারমোনিয়াম বাজিয়ে দেব গো রঙ্গিলা দাঁড়িয়া মাছের বিয়ে করাতে চলো গো রঙ্গিলা ট্যাংরা কই বলছে দেখো ট্যাংরা কই বলছে দেখো তোমার বিয়ের সানাই বাজিয়ে দেব গো রঙ্গিলা দাঁড়িয়া মাছের বিয়ে করাতে চলো গো রঙ্গিলা ভেটকি চিংড়ি বলছে দেখো
So
ভেটকি চিংড়ি
the crab
বলছে
is not conducting the ceremony, but they put a lot of different character. দাদা ঠিক আছে, ওরা just জিজ্ঞাসা করছে কোনটা কি. So they sometimes. Oh, okay. Okay, তাহলে অন্যটা actually Rika, it's difficult to finish it, but if you are okay um to stay on a little bit more, we're trying to finish it around 11, but if you want to stay on a little bit more longer, she can show. Um, So the crab is not conducting the ceremony. I think someone was interested in that, so I told them to show, up close, and they sing a song with Midnapur, but not with Kalighat, and I think that's kind of a difference between the both types they do. Um, বৌদি একটুখানি আর একটু কি দেখাতে পারবে?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
ওকে. আর 5-7 মিনিটের মধ্যে না একটু চেষ্টা করো, যতটা দেখাতে পারবে একটু কুইকলি শেডটা করে জুতোটা করে কমপ্লিট করে দাও, আউটলাইনটা করে জুতোটা করে কমপ্লিট করে দাও. হ্যাঁ Yeah, so what happens is each one takes a little bit longer. And here, we're talking and kind of trying to make it interactive. So she's pretty good, but it's always very difficult to kind of complete it without within a time frame. So that's why we always provide uh, the completed painting with the poster so that the attendees can use it. And no, I totally understand, Rika, that it's really helpful to see it evolve in front of your eyes. And I'll share the YouTube video link so that you can also use that as another learning material. So that's the shoe, right? So it's a closed toe shoe, which was not available or popular before Calcutta became the British capital. And I believe that's part of the British culture. In our household, we still keep the shoes outside. Not here. Here I cannot keep it outside, but traditionally we leave the shoes outside and then we come in. Um, but because of the weather, the warm weather, more open toe shoes, chappal is the norm there. Um, See, when it gets dry, the white color kind of, comes up a little more. And I will show you a little bit, finished white on another example I have here, just so that you can see why I'm really fascinated by this white paint that they use. Just so you know, they also do paint on different kind of a cloth like sari and dupatta and stole, but they use fabric paint for those. They don't use natural dye on any other mediums. They use oil paint on metal. Sometimes they make very nice wall hanging. um, they use I believe they use fabric paint, oil paint. I don't think so much of acrylic paint though, not these artists. So depending on the medium, but traditionally on paper, vegetable dye. So you can see this is called dhoti, and it's a very long piece of cloth like sari. Men wear it, but it's kind of worn in a way that it's almost like a pant, and then there is a very fancy end of it that the Babu is holding in his hand. No, so Michelle, they add that adhesive from wood apple, what she showed very, very briefly, and that's what creates the effect of a sealer. They don't use a sealer on top of this. It's mixed with the dye. And I think because of that, the dye stays like really bright and do not oxidize. So yes. হ্যাঁ বৌদি এই আউটলাইনটা করে এবার ছেড়ে দাও। She's doing some design, some ornamentation. Um, and this is the folds of that dhuti that she's showing here. মোটামুটি হয়ে গেছে না? ওকে, একটু তুলে ধরে দেখাবে? So this is pretty much the whole painting. Of course, they can do more ornamentation and more decoration, if ideally they do. So any question? Yeah, they do more decoration. Let me show you this, just to give you an idea. This is a lady, so you can see all the ornaments and everything is done in white, right? For the men, there is not much ornamentation, so that's why she did just kind of a earring sort of decoration to show the usage of white. Any other question for the artist? Athena, can they unmute themselves? And I don't know what is preferred, but we can do it over chat. And also, if you think of something, let me know.
Hi, everyone. I'm Athena with the Natick Center Cultural District, and I just want to say thank you so much, Swati, for organizing this, and thank you so much, Tagar, for this beautiful, beautiful work and for setting this all up. As it is later in the evening there, almost, it's getting later and later for them. I just want to say, if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. I will be sending all the materials through an email, all the things that we talked about. And I will share the link for the workshop for next month, but I want to thank you so much for all of your time. And I think there might be, but they should be able to unmute themselves, Swati, yes.
Okay. Yeah, anyone, if you want to unmute yourself, ask a question directly to the artist. Of course, I'll have to translate, but
just tell her thank you. It's beautiful and we've so enjoyed it.
Thank you. বৌদি সবাই thank you বলছে, খুব enjoy করেছে. Yeah, I mean, I always feel like, oh my gosh, I wish we had more time. I wish we were there with them, all of those things. But unfortunately, we always come to an end when we are really getting hooked. But look for other opportunities. And thank you to all of you again. And thank you, Athena, for giving us this opportunity and for connecting us, and more importantly, the artist with the audience. And I want to just bring someone on camera one more time. এ আছে, খুশি আছে? So she's the girl I was talking to you about. She's a budding artist. She's doing incredible work. And I am showcasing one of our painting in Teal Wave Gallery. I will like to bring others here as well. So thanks again. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to also ask me question through Athena or directly on, through my messenger. Very, very grateful for your support and enthusiasm for this art form. Thanks again. Have a great weekend, all of you.
Thank you. And feel free to you can stop the recording, Swati, if you'd like. You can just hit the record button. It should stop. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I will do that. Thank you for reminding.
Of course. But that's wonderful. Now I can share it with everyone for those who weren't able to make it as well. Yeah. So if you hit that button, it should just say,